My name's Nicholas, and I live aboard a 103-year-old historic wooden boat, Argonaut II, and I'm on a mission to build community around this boat to help out with an ongoing restoration and preservation of its history. In this episode, we're going to get into cleaning the old frames in preparation for putting new planks on, cleaning out the seams of the old planks. We're addressing 2 additional through holes, and I'll be getting more into a little bit what life is like in the boatyard. We'll start today off with some additional rot that we found in the boat last week. If you guys want to come see some rot, we just removed the shear plank, which is the topmost plank that covers up the ends of the deck frames, and have discovered quite a bit of rot. So about 15-20 years ago, there was a fire on board. This is forward of the windlass, up in the bow section above the anchor locker. And the fire was actually on the starboard side, but it looks like the flames got into the anchor locker, and you can see the remnants of all the fire damage here. There has been some structural reinforcement in places. Needs to be pulled out and rebedded at some point. That's going to be a future project. Wow, look at that. Yeah, so this one leaks forward. I scraped this one out earlier, but nothing to it. This is going all the way into the interior of the boat through the beam. There's another one, and this all came from the deck leaking. Someone came in here with like a penetrating epoxy or something, so this is like a rock hard rotted frame, and then this is a deck beam. New frame, old frame. It's not in the budget necessarily for this project, but it is something to do in sometime in the next 5 years or so, is lay a new deck and rip up all the old deck frames.
Found some little buddies living rent-free for the past who knows how long on Argonaut II. Haven't panned down to see in the lucky strike box. Can you identify
Can you put them in your hand again?
Worm? Just don't want them to blow away.
Oh man.
They're freaking huge, eh? They're not doing too hot now that they're in the fresh air. Where did I dropped one. There he is on the ground. I don't want to drop him back into the boat. The other one I found was in the stem. Oh, there's one. You see it? He's biting onto something. That's crazy. I was like, ow! Get over here, quick! And he's just like, oh, yeah, got some worms, don't we? I don't really know the best way to do this either. Maybe it's to spring these planks off. Because, like, these planks gotta be coming out, right? There they are now. We need Pete to get here so he can just do what he does best and just wrap these.
Banana peel?
Yeah, banana peel.
Like a banana.
This is where the family was. Let's see. It's like kind of scary. The tiny little bugs with tiny teeth. See all the buggies in there?
Yeah. Not all of the original wood in Argonaut is rotten, and in fact, most of the original planks below the waterline are in good condition. For the planks in good standing, we are cleaning out the seams by reefing out old corking material before fastening them into the new frames.
Rowan did all of these. I just started.
Okay.
I just got back from work.
So here's some cotton, which is the first thing that goes into the thinnest part of the seam. And then next is a layer of oakum, or a couple layers of oakum. And then the very end is some seam compound, which makes a fair seam. This seam is in pretty good shape, but it's still worth recorking, so we're pulling it all out. In the last video, we drove in 61 new frames without removing any of the old ones. I received a lot of questions as to whether or not we are concerned about the added weight and should we also be removing the old frames. The short answer is no. While the new frames do add several hundred pounds to the boat, that is negligible when considering the 115,000 pounds that Argonaut weighs overall. Most of them are in pretty good condition, particularly under the waterline, and we'll be fastening some of the new planks both to the new frames and the old frames. Second, we didn't drive the new frames all the way down to the keel, and so we're relying on the existing old frames to continue to receive fasteners on the old planks that are in good condition below the waterline. Remember that a lot of the new frames end at just the first plank below the waterline, so we have screws fastening to the toes of the new frames, but there's nothing down below, and so these planks from the garboard about 2 or 3 strakes up are reliant on the old frames to stay fastened into the boat.
I realized that I need to get a corded drill.
Yeah, running through those batteries too quick.
I'm only on my second refill.
Oh, what's that? Smoking?
Smoke coming in. Drill. I think I'm gonna put that down for a while.
We continued to remove original fasteners from old frames using a slide hammer, and then filled the fastener holes with wooden Swede nails and a little bit of old paint.
Just cut a bunch of Swede nails from some cedar with the plan to fill all these holes from the old fasteners so that you don't just have vacuous space sitting in the old frames. And so you just dunk them in a little bit of paint here and try and find one that lines up nicely. Slam her in. And then once it's hardened up and the paint has set, cut off the proud ends and voila. Et voila.
We make Swede nails using scrap cedar and cut them to the size of the fasteners that we're removing from the old frames. For the fasteners that we can't remove with the slide hammer, we cut them off with a grinder flush with the frame and just leave them in there for good.
Good stuff. Picking boogers.
You know those people who can peel an orange in one go?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tap into that kind of satisfaction, you know? But my orange keeps falling apart. My orange peel is just turning into dust, and it's got worms in it.
It's got worms. It almost feels like a spring day here in Port Townsend. A big windstorm came through last night. The sun's out and it's a clear day. It's almost t-shirt weather. And Patty and I are just reefing the lower seams from the planks below the waterline. And we're using a set of reefing hooks. What's up, Patty? Monologuing. You want to jump in and make it a dialogue?
A dialogue? Say, Nick, what are we even doing here?
Patty and I have been reefing all day for the most part.
Reefer madness.
Reefer madness. Yeah.
Sitting here on the bouncy plank, as you can see. Hear the musical sounds of the bronze mallets on the reefing hook. Watching the sun draw an arc in the sky. Shadows are getting long. The story of Argonaut lives another day.
So Argonaut's trying to live another day. Want to share why we use brass mallets?
We use a softer metal than we than what the reefing hook is made out of, because these are so little and sharp, and they have to fit all the way in the seam there, so you don't want to mess those things up. So you use a softer metal than what the thing is made out of.
This is what a new one looks like.
Look at that. Al's been using this mallet since he was in the 3rd grade. We're almost done.
Each seam takes a few passes. The first is chipping out the hardened seam compound to get access to the softer oakum and cotton below. And then lastly, you draw the reefing irons through the seam to remove all the mud and any other material that might have been left behind. What you up to?
Just covering myself in milk chocolate. Pine tar. It's gonna kind of help the screw drive in there nice and smooth and protect all these little holes from rot.
A little bit in the tar.
Hang them in the tar, stick them.
Stick them, hang them.
Stick them, hang them.
We reefed the old seams prior to driving new fasteners in the old planks as a way to free up the planks to be pulled in even tighter into the boat prior to recorking them, which will be a future video. I am down below in the engine room. Today we've been mostly waiting for planking material to show up. Been out in the rain, cleaning up all the frames, cutting off all the Swede nails, pulling out any old rusty fasteners that we still see. For another project is I have a through hole that we do need to keep, but we can't plank around, so I have to actually pull that through hole out and we'll replace it with a new one. Here's the through hole here, it's below the waterline. And it makes its way up to the generator. And this generator is raw water cooled, meaning that it pulls in salt water from the environment, runs it through a heat exchanger, and then discharges it with the exhaust on a through hole that's above the water line.
Hey Nick,
Yo!
just got the Wordle.
What was it?
Well, I can't tell you.
I don't play Wordle.
You might change your mind by the end of the day.
Hey Patty,
What?
can you see this through hole?
Yeah, I see it.
Is it rotating?
Yes, it is.
I couldn't keep the through hole from rotating in place, and so I solicited some help from Jay, who wedged it from the outside so I could keep working it from within.
How about now?
Did that work?
Not yet. You could try again if you want.
Anything?
No, is it a safe space to get heat on it?
Do you want me to throw a heat gun on it?
Yeah, or I've got a torch if you want to go that route.
I also have a torch right here.
You got a fire extinguisher?
Yeah, I do have a fire extinguisher. Fire alarm works. Oh, was it spinning just now?
No, it's not moving out here.
Great, hold on. Next, we took the wet exhaust out, which was a much easier task. Right now I am in the forward stateroom and we are pulling out the port lights from the port side of the boat.
These are the port lights, and we're pulling them out so that we can easily plank up the whole top sides and then spile the circle out of them and cut them out real easy. And also gives us a chance to refasten and rebed and clean up the inner sleeve of these historic 102-year-old port lights. Hope it comes out. Oh, wow. It's like pulling a tooth.
Something kind of fun is it looks like historically they're going to insert the port light here, which is symmetrical with the other two, but there's a cabinet behind this fixture, and so they moved it aft one frame bay, which does make it asymmetrical. We had to pull this ceiling off earlier to drive the carriage bolts of the top of the frames, and so we're going to continue removing it, and I don't think we're going to install it back. instead opting for Patty's recommendation to maintain the aesthetic of the exposed beam shelf. And so I'll probably do the same for the other side. And in the meantime, staying on board is going to get quite chilly. It's always something. So in order to remove this port light, these two bolts here are the bolts that are holding one of the deck cleats down. We're gonna attempt to take the nuts off, tap the bolts up to make room to remove the port light.
Did you get that on camera? That was a good jump scare. I'm sorry.
Later that evening, we received our first order of 4 35-foot boules of Sipo mahogany that were sourced from Africa, milled in Germany, and sent halfway around the world, where they're going to end up in the hull of Argonaut. In the next video, we're going to be getting into some of the most interesting parts of this project, which is templating out planks and putting them up onto the hull, as we begin to piece Argonaut back together. And to help out with the planking portion of the project, particularly with all the upfront costs of the materials, I put together a little fundraiser for Argonaut, including the ability to sponsor a plank, or a lot of folks are asking if they can take some of the older planks or fasteners off the boat, which we have some really creative projects led by some volunteers that are in the works to be shared with all of you. Thank you so much to everyone who's contributed so far, and we'll see you in the next video, where some beautiful new wood is going to be going up against the hull of Argonaut. See you next time.